Hump day! Let's go ahead and make ourselves some money on this fine Wednesday. Hey there, what's going on everybody? Welcome on into another episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis, of course, giving you guys free sports picks every single day. And it's hump day, and that sounds like a fantastic day to make money to me. Let's go ahead and recap yesterday, then we'll get you guys some bets for today's action. As you guys can see, yesterday we went 1-2, down a little bit of money, and now down just a little bit on the week. We sailed to a nice easy under 8.5 runs. I know the game ended with 8 runs. Giancarlo Stanton maybe kind of made it a sweat there in the 9th inning with hitting a home run, but just kind of the way playoff baseball generally unfolds, that was a good, easy under 8.5 runs for us. In the process, though, Eovaldi, he went over his strikeout total. Boy, he looked like a badass, like straight up badass. Every time the ESPN decided to do a little tight shot up in on his face, it looked like he had the look of like, I'm going to strike you out. It looked like he was going to strike out everybody. I mean, it just looked like, I'm going to strike you out. Okay, now I'm going to strike you out. Hey, you're next. You're going to go ahead and go down via strikeouts. He was quick pitching people. That's what probably mostly got him up over 5.5 Ks. I think he got 2 or 3 just via the quick pitching people and catching people off guard and throwing off people's timing. I remember Rizzo there. Definitely remember Rizzo there with his leg kick, but he got a couple other people there with his quick pitching. So yeah, Eovaldi was a bad boy last night, going up over that strikeout total right there, which is a shame because I mentioned there on the show that as soon as he was going to get roughed up, he was going to get pulled, and that's exactly what happened. I know it was in the 6th inning, but you give up a home run, and then you start giving up a kind of a chopper there in the infield. But that's what happens postseason baseball. You get any sort of traffic on the bases, and it's the next guy that comes out of that bullpen. So just unfortunate he went up over his strikeout process in the total. And then early on, Garrett Cole, he obviously never had his stuff. He only lasted 2+ innings, giving up 2 home runs in that process. So yeah, Garrett Cole looked absolutely awful, and not even worth close to that $324 million that team is paying him right there. But it's a new day. We'll go ahead and turn the page. We'll go ahead and see if we can find some money on today's show. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do the ESPN games we're playing. I forgot to do it on yesterday's show. You guys remember we got the NFL Eliminator contest going on over there. 20 people entered week 4, and half of us were eliminated. Half of you were eliminated. 20 went in and 10 got eliminated. 8 people survived with the Bills and the Bengals. As you can see, I was one of those Bills pickers. Easy choice going with the Bills right there. I know some of you, prescribe to the strategy of, well, I don't want to burn the Bills. Well, nah, you don't know when you're going to lose in this game, and last thing you want to do is go ahead and bow out and be like, wow, I had the Bills left. So yeah, I was one of the 8 people that went ahead and survived with the Bills, and then 2 other people survived with the Bengals. So obviously they got a nice sweat on Thursday night up against the Jaguars, but Bengals with a nice second half came back. Who got eliminated? How did they get eliminated? Well, we had 7 people get eliminated with the Titans. Titans were the big ones that took people down going up against the Jets. I agree with picking, or at least thinking that the Titans were going to win. I mean, Titans, I obviously had them in the money line parlay, so yeah, I thought the Titans could win that game, even though they did have some injuries going into that game. A couple people went down with the Saints up against the Giants. I thought that the Saints should have won that game as well, just in terms of how I thought going into that game. And then one person bowed out with the Rams. Of the people who got eliminated, I thought the Rams was an interesting and a curious pick right there, going up against the Cardinals, another undefeated team right there. So a little unfortunate right there. So yeah, excited to see what week 5 brings. 10 people survived. This thing could really end any week, and we could be declaring a $100 winner here any week now. It's only 10 people remaining, so look forward to seeing who picks what coming up on NFL Week 5. Let's go ahead and jump over now to that NFL Pick'em contest. Let's go ahead and start with the straight contest, where we had a 2-way tie with 120 points between Mac and Joey M. The tiebreaker goes easily to Mac. He predicted 57 points, and Joey M did not do the tiebreaker. So gutted that you end up in first place, but you didn't do the tiebreaker. But that's what happened. So an easy win there for Mac with the tiebreaker. 12 other people had 100 plus. So kind of like what we talk about, it really could have been anyone's week. I mean, 12 people were within striking distance as they got more than 100 points. So let's go ahead and now jump over now to that spread contest where Joey M did come through. Joey M gets the win with 110 points. A good week by Joey. Joey did great in the straight, and Joey did great there in that spread pick'em contest. 6 other people had 100 points, including myself. So there were 5 of you that were right there for the taking. So we talk about this. It's a new week, and it's anyone's week. That's the great thing about this contest is it doesn't matter what you did the previous 4 weeks as we enter NFL Week 5. This is based on a 1 week result. So don't worry if you had a bad result. Just come back in NFL Week 5, get yourself a good result, and get yourself that $20 and do that tiebreaker. Gutted. This has now happened to a couple people this season where you finish out in tie, but you're not doing the tiebreaker. I hate to see you lose because you're not doing the tiebreaker. So get that tiebreaker in. All you got to do is correctly predict or get the closest to predict the score there for Monday Night Football, the total points. So go ahead and do that. But anyways, Joey M. and Matt, go ahead and hit me both up on Twitter. Drop me your PayPal information, and I'll send each of you $20. And congratulations to the two of you. All right, for today's bet, I'm going to go ahead and look at UEFA Nations game. We got a game going on there. We got playoff action in that competition going on. We got Italy versus Spain. We all know these two teams very familiar. These two teams played in the Euro competition this past summer. Italy was able to get by them in penalties, but it was a draw at the end of regulation. Neither one of them so far have really impressed so far in their World Cup qualifiers. I don't think either one has. Spain, they've done nothing but beat up on some small nations, and then they got a tie up against Switzerland. Meanwhile, Italy, they've gotten 2 draws, and they had a beat down of Lithuania, so no big surprise they beat up Lithuania, but then they've only gotten 2 draws, so they haven't been as dominant, obviously, as they have been, when over the Euros over this past summer. 2.5 is too juiced. I would love to do 2.5. I would love to do 3.5. I think the worst score line this is either one of these two teams winning 2-1. So, but you can never bet under 3.5 in soccer. That is always way too juiced. So then you move it down to 2.5. But even that is too juiced. For my liking, at least, it's above my minus 150 cutoff. I'm going to go ahead and say there's a tie in this game. Go ahead and give me the tie at plus 220. And notice in this bet slip, I'm only doing half a unit. I'm only going to do half a unit on this bet. Give me that there's going to be a tie at the end of full time at plus 220 over there at Bet Rivers. I like it. I like it. This is going to be a low scoring. Again, these two clubs just faced off, in this summer in the European competition. So we really know what we're going to get with this. It feels like either one of these two teams could win 1-0, could see 0-0, could see 1-1, any sort of thing like that after regulation. So for 220, it's only lay half a unit. I'll go ahead and take that, see if I can't win me 1 unit in this nice afternoon soccer game right here. Although we also got Major League Baseball today, Cardinals, Dodgers. I'm going back and forth in this game. I like the Dodgers just to win this game, but it's super chalky. I think it's like minus 230, and laying run lines in the playoffs isn't something you want to go ahead and do. Obviously, the run line would have cashed last night in that Red Sox-Yankees game, but large in part, you really don't want to mess around with run lines come playoff baseball. I like Scherzer. His strikeout total is at 7.5. The thing I may do the most is do one of those FanDuel player performance, which is Max Scherzer 6+ Ks and the Dodgers win at minus 120. Obviously, the Cardinals have been incredibly hot, winning 18 games in a row, but kind of look at the competition they played in that 18-game win streak. Don't get me wrong. To win 18 games is super impressive, and it rarely happens, and there's a reason it rarely happens, because you got to be playing complete baseball each and every single day. But the competition wasn't all that great in that 18-game stretch. Played the Padres, played the Mets, played the Cubs up in there. So not the greatest of all competition, even though they did go ahead and do it. But I still like the Dodgers. I still think they're the better team. They got by far the better starter. I'm not going to bet against Max Scherzer. Sure as hell not going to take anything on the Cardinals side and bet against Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer wearing the Dodger uniform, they're 11-0 in him putting on the Dodger uniform. 11-0, and they've won 9 of those 11 via the run line. So I'm not betting against Max Scherzer. I like, obviously, Max Scherzer a lot. I think they overall have the better offense. Bullpen-wise, whoever can get to their good arms, both of these bullpens are equally as strong, but we'll see if I get to that bet. That's the bet I kind of like the most, is over there at FanDuel, parlaying 6+ strikeouts and the Dodgers to win at minus 120. Look for me on Twitter. If I go ahead and pull the trigger, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. Otherwise, let's go ahead and hit you guys with 2 Thursday Night Football bets. I've already tweeted both of these out sometime yesterday afternoon, so if you follow me on Twitter, you've already got these bets, and hopefully you were able to get the same number and same odds I got. The first one I want to do is Chris Carson, under 14.5 rush attempts at minus 105 over at DraftKings. This is cashed in 3 of the 4 games so far this season. The one it didn't cash, he got 16 rushing attempts in that game, and that was the first game of the season, so it's obviously cashed in the last 3. Seattle is only averaging 22.8 rushing attempts per game. So the backup running back doesn't have to eat into this a whole hell of a lot for this to go ahead and get a good cash. And that's where you actually enter in Alex Collins, the backup running back who saw 10 carries last week versus the 49ers. He was averaging per attempt 4.4 yards per attempt. He also added in a touchdown in that game. He also had 2 receptions in that game. He looked way better than Chris Carson did, and obviously the Seahawks are seeing the same thing that you and I do on film. They'll want to lean on Alex Collins here a little bit more. His average carry of 4.4 was significantly better than Chris Carson's last week of 2.3. So yeah, he was the much more effective runner. Like I said, Collins looked better. Seahawks, I think, will obviously notice that as well. Even on a short week, I think that favors more of an even running back split too. These guys, from a running back position, they take quite a bit of a pounding and a beating. It's hard to come back on a short week, so I think that even lends to more of an even carry load. So when the team only averages about 23 carries per game, you don't need a whole hell of a lot from a running back to the backup running back. So when a team, only averages, 23 carries per game, we don't need that much help from the backup running back, and that backup running back is already performing better than him, started eating into his carries last week. So, yeah, I like this. Under 14.5 rush attempts and minus 105 over DraftKings. Then the other one I tweeted out yesterday is a teaser from this game. I'm going under 59.9 points and parlaying that with Seahawks plus 4.5 at plus 144 over at BetRivers. And go ahead and check out my video where I broke down this game for a chance to win $25,000. I went deep in this one. I went deep in there, gave you guys lots of good stats on the running, on the passing, even broke down the win-loss record for each of these head coaches on Thursday night, which is outstanding. Each of these coaches only have one loss on Thursday night in their career. These guys are really getting it done so far on Thursday night. So, yeah, I went deep on that. Go ahead and check it out, and you'll see why I like that teaser so much in this game of 59.5, staying under, and Seahawks plus 4.5. So that's how we'll do it today, though. We'll go ahead and do Italy, Spain. We'll do a tie in that match at plus 220 for a half a unit. Take Chris Carson over 14.5 rushes at minus 105, and take that teaser of under 59.5 points. Parlay that with Seahawks plus 4.5. And you can get that at plus 144 for Thursday Night Football. All right, guys, come on back. Probably add to the Thursday night slate. Looking to add one, maybe two more plays for Thursday Night Football on tomorrow's show. Go enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you back here then. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.